Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, kids of all of the ages, welcome to the special run of the Chessboard area to celebrate the 20th anniversary of Devil May Cry 3, 20th-ish anniversary, where I clear out the chessboard on Dante Must Die mode without taking damage, unlike what I just showed you right then and there. I'm still recovering from a sprained wrist, which is the reason why it took me a while to get done. So, yeah, that's pretty cool. Yeah, it took me a while to do that, and you probably also noticed the aging, the poor aging that is displayed in front of you. Getting older isn't like the worst thing in the world. It comes with several perks. Back pains, constantly having to complain about every little thing that is not important in any significant way. A newfound obsession for fiber supplements. That's pretty cool. Oh, and failing vision. Kids, if you have parents in their 40s, ask them about the vision. It's pretty awesome. I have a 2-year-old. And whenever I have her over here, and I'm holding her, and I'm lecturing her, and violently shaking her, I have to give her the grandpa look. Which, if you don't know what that is, it's this. So, when I'm holding her, she sees this.
Now, honey, you're not supposed to toss your SpaghettiOs on the floor. It's supposed to go in your mouth for nom-noms.
So yeah, I have that little issue. Also, another perk about getting older is memory loss. So, I vividly remember December of 2005. That was when I bought Devil May Cry 5 on the first day. I never committed the actual date in March to memory, but I remember it being March of 2005. So when February rolled by, I thought to myself, okay, I have a month or so to figure out what I want to do for a 20th anniversary video in a similar way that I did with the 20th anniversary video for Devil May Cry 1. But by the time that I looked up the date, I completely forgot that this is a Japanese developed game with their own release tendencies, meaning Japanese games get released in Japan first, then America, then Europe, and yeah, February 17th. By the time that I came across that date, it was, I don't know, maybe a week, less than a week, before I was going to hit that date, and I hadn't even settled on what kind of video I was going to do. I wasn't going to do another double S run on Dante Must Die. I already have 2 of those in my channel. But yeah, I said fine. February 17th is going to be the date. I'll just stick with the November with the March date. I know that's not how dates work, but to me, the March date is the 20th anniversary, even though it's actually February 17th. So I looked it up, and I was like, okay, I can get this done in a month. I can do this. When in March is it? Oh crap, March 1st. So I captured this run on March 4th. But since then, there's been a lot of things that's been popping up. Car issues. I also had some studio dates with my band So you know, life happened, and it took me away from this video. And now it is what's today's date? The 18th, March 18th. 2 weeks. Two weeks since I captured this run. So let's go ahead and get into it. To start things off, Beowulf, Rebellion, Kalina and Ebony and Ivory, and Royal Guard. I toyed with the idea of Swordmaster and leaning heavily into real impact, but we know about its slow startup and its liabilities, and it only worked in very specific scenarios. So I decided to ditch that. I looked into Quicksilver, but the chess pieces have this little thing where once you get your target in front of you and you initiate slowdown, the inert animation doesn't slow down, even though you're in slowdown. So by the time the slowdown animation is complete, the piece is already inert. So there was no compelling reason to stick with Quicksilver. I looked at Trickster, but then I was thinking about the Queen and the Rooks and how I would have to manage those pieces. So I settled on Royal Guard. Rage build-up and the Devil Trigger build-up with every single guard, the releases. That's what I settled on. So I am going to revert to my notes in front of me, so that way I get things taken care of. So pardon the lack of connection. Okay, so to start the mission, I try to start off with one of the pawn pieces on the edge. Jump canceling Killer Bees is the name of the game. 7 of these Killer Bee spams will destroy a pawn, so I settle on 6 attacks, so that way I minimize the health of each pawn. During that time, when I am spamming Killer Bee on the first pawn, I'm building up Devil Trigger Explosion. I release at 9 orbs. I'm not doing a full 10 orb release because that's going to destroy pawn pieces even at full health, and we obviously don't want to do that for Devil Trigger or enemy trigger liabilities. If you're able to capture 3 or 4 pawn pieces within the 9 orb explosion, that is optimal. Once I'm done with that, I go to the other side of the pawn, or the other side of the chessboard, Killer Bee spam the other pawns before they get a chance to turn into other chess pieces. So that is step number 1. Take care of the pawn pieces and lower their health as much as possible without destroying them. So when I'm done with the pawn pieces, I get the Queen's attention. Get some rage stacked up and try to weaken her as much as I can in the process. You gotta find a balance between letting her stick around long enough so that way you can guard her charge attack, and dealing enough damage towards her so that way when she does eventually trigger, you can dispatch her in an easier manner. There isn't another attack on the chessboard I found that is as easily guardable as the Queen's charge attack. So find your balance when you're dressing other chess pieces and whenever you're dealing damage to them, and you're going to have to deal with the Queen whenever she's around. The Queen is going to be the focal point of the chessboard. Always. It's always going to be the focal point. So after I play with the Queen with a little bit, I then move my attention to the 2 full strength knights at the end of the board. Releases or Devil Trigger Explosions, one or the other, not both, can chip their health away significantly, but you'll need to get the Queen's attention after you deal with them. to get more rage and Devil Trigger to shift your attention to the next pieces, which are the rooks. Now, the rooks, I would put my attention to the rooks first before the knights, but they sit inert for a longer period of time. So if I'm not going to be able to address them, I might as well damage the knights. But the problematic issue with the rooks is they spawn pieces. Now, it's not so much that they can spawn pieces that's the problem, it's they can spawn more rooks. So when you have this situation where a rook spawns a rook, you risk this compounding issue where the other rooks can spawn more rooks and more rooks and more rooks. And that's not likely to happen like that, but I have found myself in situations where I'm looking at the board and there are 6 rook pieces. I'm not even done with the other pieces. If they spawn more rooks, you'll need to shift your attention to those new rooks, especially if the entire chessboard has already triggered. If that's the case, definitely focus your focus onto the new rooks. If they spawn a pawn piece, perfect. Killer Bee spam them. Any other pieces, do what you can with your Devil Trigger explosion and releases, but take care of the new rooks as quickly as possible. So it goes without saying that you need to use your Devil Trigger explosion methodically. Catching as many pieces as you can with the explosion, use the queen to get more rage, and Devil Trigger, make sure you're taunting, of course, and use Kalina and canceling to get your good group damage and Devil Trigger. But one of the breakthroughs, speaking of which, one of the breakthroughs that I had going into this was the idea of doing Kalina and canceling. We've all used and heard of spiral canceling, but for whatever reason, it never dawned on me that Kalina and canceling was a thing. Splash damage is great. Greater build of the Devil Trigger for more explosions. Use your Kalina and canceling. As for the king, as you can see, I wasn't going to risk a dumb choke, because I did choke at the king several times. Mistiming, the air guard, the rolling guard, releases, I've just lost count. You know, I think, you know, I would just get in my head and I would just make dumb mistakes. But this strategy, perfectly viable. Kalina and charge straight attacks. Just jump. And there it is. The chessboard clearance, maybe there? No, it close. So I had never cleared out the chessboard before, and there was a viewer who had made the recommendation. There you go. There is the official clearance of the entire chessboard. Whoever made the suggestion, thank you for that. I will give you credit in the description or elsewhere. Thank you for that. And thank you for watching. Devil May Cry 3 has meant a lot to me, continues to mean a lot to me, and I hope that this video gives you extra context on how to navigate the chessboard and possibly participate in this this unique challenge. Hope to see you guys in the next video, because I will be talking about Devil May Cry 2. We'll see you there.